A restaurant in California was about to disappear forever.
Not because nobody loved it.
Not because the food was bad,
But because the land underneath it had suddenly become more valuable than the memories inside it.
and when people discovered what was going to replace the restaurant, the internet exploded. One of America's most iconic Mexican restaurant chains was reportedly being replaced by a car wash. That single detail shocked millions of people online.
It felt like an entire era of life was disappearing.
Most people never realized how close the chain already was to extinction. This is the story of how Acapulco quietly collapsed. For decades, Acapulco was more than a restaurant. It was an experience. Founded during the rise of suburban America, the chain became famous for its colorful
Sizzling
atmosphere.
fajitas, giant margaritas, loud mariachi music, and family-friendly celebrations.
In places like California, families grew up with it. Parents brought their kids there after school events. Couples had first dates there.
Some customers visited the same location for generations.
Teenagers celebrated birthdays there.
And during its peak years, the company expanded rapidly across the United States.
But underneath the popularity, the restaurant industry itself was beginning to change. Convenience became more important than experience. You can deliver tacos, you can deliver burritos, but you cannot deliver nostalgia in a plastic bag. And over time, fewer people started showing up physically. At the same time, operating costs exploded. Food became more expensive. Labor costs in California commercial rent kept rising, and profit margins became dangerously thin. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic, and for many restaurants across America, that was the breaking point. Thousands of restaurants disappeared forever. And quietly, Acapulco started shrinking fast. Some customers didn't even realize it was happening until they drove past their favorite restaurant and saw empty parking lots. And eventually, only a handful of locations remained.
But then something happened that transformed this story into national news.
One particular Acapulco location in Glendale, California, became the center of public attention.
People began comparing human memories to commercial efficiency.
Social media exploded almost instantly. Former customers started posting old photographs online.
People shared stories about birthdays, graduations, anniversaries, and family dinners.
Some adults posted pictures from childhood visits decades earlier.
Others described going there with parents or grandparents who were no longer alive.
And suddenly, Acapulco became much bigger than a restaurant chain. It became a symbol of disappearing American culture.
The emotional reaction surprised even the company
Customers
itself.
rushed back to remaining locations.
Supporters launched online petitions. Former employees shared memories of working there for
And
years.
for the first time in years, millions of Americans were talking about Acapulco again.
Some locations would remain open until further notice.
For many people, it felt like a victory.
But the truth behind the scenes was far more complicated, because emotional support alone cannot easily save struggling businesses. And the casual dining industry across America was already collapsing. And maybe that's the real reason this story became so emotional.
Because deep down, people weren't only mourning a restaurant.
They were mourning a version of life that no longer exists. A time before everything became faster, cheaper, and temporary.
So before this video ends, I want to ask you something.
Then, what's one place from your childhood that disappeared, but you still remember emotionally?
Comment below and tell your story.
Because sometimes, ordinary places become the most unforgettable parts of our lives. And in the next documentary, we're diving into a completely different world. A world of billion-dollar fear, secret panic inside and the Silicon company Valley
that
changed the future of humanity almost overnight. The next episode is OpenAI Scares Silicon Valley. And trust me, the real story is far crazier than most people realize.
So subscribe.